Okay, let's unpack this. Have you ever felt just completely swamped by all the finance advice out
Well,
there?
absolutely. It's everywhere.
Or maybe you think getting your money right means, basically living like a hermit, sacrificing everything fun.
Yeah, that's a common feeling.
Well, today we're doing a deep dive into Ramit Sethi's I Will Teach You to Be Rich.
Hmm.
We want to cut through that noise, really get to the core ideas from this pretty popular book,
Right?
especially for folks who want financial control but, don't want to totally give up their lifestyle.
And what's really interesting here, I think, is how Sethi's approach is, well, it's almost the opposite of a lot of that traditional save every penny advice.
Also,
He's big on automation, spending smartly on things you actually value, and managing your money consciously. It's
right.
about building wealth long term, not just extreme cutting.
Yeah.
The core message is pretty empowering, really. It's like you don't need to be some Wall Street whiz to get rich.
Right.
Just set up some smart systems, automate them, and then let time do its thing. Let your wealth grow while you actually, enjoy life.
That is such a refreshing take, isn't it? It sets a totally different tone right away.
Hmm.
So his basic philosophy, it challenges that whole deprivation idea. He famously says something like, don't cut out everything you enjoy.
Spend extravagantly on what you love and cut costs mercilessly on what you don't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not about depriving yourself. It's
Yeah.
about being smart with where the money goes,
Yeah,
which I think is a huge shift for a lot of people.
precisely. And that leads straight into his idea of the rich life.
Okay.
Because money isn't just, spreadsheets and math problems. It's so tied up in our behavior, our psychologies.
Sure.
So the real work, he argues, is figuring out what a rich life actually means to you, like personally.
Right. It's different for everyone.
Totally. For some, maybe it's travel. For others, it might be the freedom to quit a job they hate or experiences with family or just feeling really secure.
Got it.
The key is then designing your whole financial setup, spending, saving, investing to actually serve those specific goals you've defined. It's about being intentional.
Okay. So once you have that rich life vision, how does he suggest structuring things? Is there like a budget system?
He does, yeah. It's called the conscious spending plan, and it basically carves up your income.
How does that breakdown work?
So roughly 50–60% goes to your fixed costs. That's stuff like rent, utilities, minimum loan payments, the essentials.
Okay, the must-haves.
Then about 10% for investments, another 10% for savings, think emergencies, down payments, that sort of thing.
Right.
And then, and this is the really important part, I think 20–30% is for guilt-free spending.
Guilt-free.
Yeah.
Like the sound of that. That's the permission slip, right? To actually enjoy life while still building wealth.
Exactly. That's the category that keeps the whole system sustainable and, frankly, enjoyable.
But what about someone who, maybe struggles with impulse buys? How do they not just blow through that guilt-free money?
Well, that's where the conscious part comes in, and the automation.
Oh, great.
Because you set up the fixed costs, the investments, the savings transfers to happen first automatically. So that guilt-free money is genuinely what's left over.
I see. So it's planned fun money.
Precisely. It's already accounted for in the system, which reduces that feeling of, oh man, should I have bought that later on?
Okay, that conscious spending plan makes a lot of sense as a framework.
Right.
But you need the right tools, right? Like the actual accounts.
Mm-hmm.
That's where his banking made simple advice comes in. He talks about getting the right checking and savings accounts, avoiding sneaky
These
fees,
fees can really add up.
and definitely using high-interest online savings accounts.
Yeah.
He also suggests organizing your money into separate accounts for clarity.
And that clarity is key. It really sets the stage for making money management almost effortless later.
How so?
Well, think of it like having different lanes for your money. One for bills, one for saving for that trip, one for just, everyday spending. It makes it super clear where everything stands.
Right, prevents muddling things up.
Exactly. And it directly feeds into the automation we were just talking about. That clarity just cuts down on having to constantly make decisions about money.
Okay, so clear banking helps with clarity. And that leads right into tackling debt, which is a huge sticking point for so many people.
A massive one.
Sethi has some pretty direct advice on debt management, doesn't he?
Oh.
He really pushes paying off high-interest debt aggressively, like credit cards, personal loans.
Oh, yeah. He suggests things like the debt snowball, paying off the smallest balance first for that quick win feeling.
Right, the psychological boost.
Or the debt avalanche, where you tackle the highest interest rate first, which mathematically saves you more money.
Got it. Choose your weapon.
But it's also important, and he stresses this, to understand the difference between bad debt and good debt.
Okay, explain that difference.
So bad debt is typically that high interest stuff, like credit cards charging you 20% or more. That needs to go ASAP. But good debt, like maybe a low interest student loan or a mortgage, well, he suggests managing that reasonably rather than feeling this intense pressure to wipe out all debt immediately.
So don't necessarily throw every spare penny at your mortgage if it means you're not investing.
Exactly. Some debt isn't necessarily an emergency. It can even be strategic in a way. It's about understanding the cost and the context.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, so banking sorted, debts being managed. What's next? Investing.
Investing. Investing early and consistently, this is huge.
A core idea being time in the market beats timing the market.
Precisely. Just get started and keep at it. Don't try to guess the peaks and valleys.
Yeah.
He points out how missing just a handful of the market's best days over decades can seriously dent your long-term returns.
Wow, so consistency is king.
Absolutely. And he gives practical advice on how to do it simply. Focus on things like low-cost index funds.
Which basically spreads your money across lots of companies at once, right?
Yeah, minimal effort, broad diversification. Or target date retirement funds, which automatically adjust how aggressive they are as you get closer to retirement.
Makes it easier.
Totally simplifies it. And crucially, automate those contributions. Set up regular transfers to your 401k, your Roth IRA, whatever you're using.
So it happens without you even thinking about it.
That's the goal. Consistency without constant effort.
Okay, but Sethi also pushes beyond just saving and investing. He talks about earning more.
Yes. This is another key lever. It's not just about cutting back. It's also about boosting your income.
How does he suggest doing that?
Well, the classics. Negotiating raises at your job, finding freelance work, maybe starting a side hustle, actively looking for ways to increase what's coming in.
Then connecting that to the bigger picture.
Yeah, if you think about it, increasing your income often has a much bigger, faster impact on building wealth than, say, trying to cut another $50 from your grocery bill.
Right. There's a limit to how much you can cut.
Exactly. But your earning potential, theoretically, has a much higher ceiling. It's another powerful tool in your financial toolkit for reaching that rich life.
Which brings us nicely to what feels like the absolute cornerstone of his whole philosophy. Automation is key.
Yes. This ties everything together.
He details how automating bills, automating savings transfers, automating investments, it basically makes your money flow where it needs to go without you micromanaging it.
Set it up once, let the system run. It's fundamental.
And the benefits.
Huge.
Yeah.
It drastically cuts down on financial stress. You're less likely to miss payments and get hit with late fees.
Definitely.
And it guarantees that you're consistently saving and investing month after month, which is how wealth really builds over time. It lets the system work quietly in the background.
So you can focus on,
well, living.
exactly, living that rich life you define without constantly obsessing over every transaction.
And then there's that idea that really goes against the grain. Big wins over small savings.
Ah, yes, the latte factor debate killer, right? Everyone worries about the $5 coffee, don't they? That little bit of guilt. But Sethi basically says, forget it. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Pretty much. He challenges that obsession with tiny daily expenses because, honestly, they just don't move the needle that much compared to the big things.
So what are the big wins then?
Think major financial decisions. Your housing costs. Can you negotiate rent or refinance a mortgage? How are you tackling your high interest debt? Are you actually investing effectively? Are you maximizing your salary?
Got it. The major levers.
Exactly. Saving $5 on coffee is like, using a teaspoon to bail out a leaky boat when you could be fixing the actual hole. Getting those big wins right has a massively larger impact on your financial future.
That makes so much sense when you put it like that. Focus your energy where it counts.
Precisely.
So wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway for someone listening? It seems like financial success, according to Sethi, isn't really about being a genius or making huge sacrifices.
Not at all. It's much more about setting up smart, automated systems. Systems that actually align with what you want out of life, your personal, rich life.
And the emphasis is really on enjoying things along the way, letting your wealth grow steadily over time, almost on autopilot. It feels like permission to live well while building wealth.
It absolutely is. But this does bring up an interesting point to think about.
Oh.
Well, if your idea of a rich life isn't static, goals change, right? Maybe you start a family or your career shifts.
Sure, life happens.
So this raises an important question for you, the listener, to consider. How does that potential for change affect things? Does it mean you need to, periodically check in and maybe tweak that automated system rather than just setting it up once and forgetting about it forever?
That's a great final thought. Your system needs to evolve as you evolve.
Excellent point. So whether you're just starting or looking to fine-tune things, hopefully these ideas give you a practical, maybe even refreshing way to take control without sacrificing the joy.
We hope this deep dive empowers you to apply some of these insights to your own journey.